Time for another music review. And this is a new releases video, my fifth this year. I have done two other videos which go a quick glimpse at the huge amount of releases, but this is a little bit more in depth, similar to the first four. And so I want to go through a number of albums, four I think, and give you a brief snapshot of what I heard and what I think about them. So let's get started with the first one. And this is a band called Abia Sound Machine, and their release Electricity. Now this band include, and there will be a slide, Eno Williams on vocals, Alfred Cara on a guitar, and the band members also listed, including horn players and synths and percussion. Now this band, very much a clash of African and electronic elements, fronted by the London-born Nigerian singer Eno Williams. She's inspired in equal measures by the golden era of West African funk and disco and modern post-war punk and electro. Their fourth record, and immediately it came on, I was gripped by the African style rhythm. Many of you know that I've got quite a soft spot for world music, particularly African music, and so this was meat and drink for me. I'm now going to go through the track list, not all the tracks, but to give you a flavour anyway. And it starts off with Protection from Evil, which is very tribal on its vocals, which are hooked into that hypnotic synthesized beat. Then the title track, where Williams emulates Kraftwerk's roboticized vocals in the intro. It's got a very soft soul pop melody. Casio Yak Need Ni is next. A massive attack came to my mind when it opened up. Lots of tribal electronic here. And then a standout, track 4. This is called Afo Kendoka Min. These are obviously African language titles. It's got an ambient electro and its feel to it. It's a love song, very spacious and very world music like, and there's an intimacy that runs through it with that minimal keyboard beat that sort of dreams over you. And then we get on to track 5, All That You Want. This touched on Georgia Moroder to me, and LCD Sound System comes to mind as the electric dance pop invades that soul crevice occupied by Beyonce, no less. Track 6 is Want to See Your Face Again. A lot of disco jive comes in here with very trance-like electronic punches. And then 17, 18, 19 is very akin to the sort of sound we got when Grace Jones started on her disco groove. There's some horns which had a great zest to this one. Truth No Lie, here we get some mean guitars, a great solo, and it's a bit of a treat. It foreshadows those wrangling layers of angular synths, and the cascading beats also reminded me of that Benin diva, Angelica Kidjo. Moving on to 10 now, something we'll remember, a wondrous disco rhythm here with that Afro funk stamp that entices one to get on to one's feet. There are a couple of closing tracks that I am skipping because otherwise we'll have done the whole lot. So that's how I found this album. It's absolutely brilliant, and I'm sure you'll enjoy it when you get to listen to it. Offering a note on this new releases episode 5 is an album called Pompei by artist Kate Le Bon. It's a very atmospherically, sonically pounding drum percussion type of sound. Layers of 80s synth tones. There's some saxophone, occasional bursts of prickly guitars, and some slippery bass lines mixed into dense blocks of sound. This is the 6th album by Kate Le Bon. I haven't heard any of the others, The songs tend to merge into each other, creating a sort of unified feel. It's very much pop, indie pop, and we're going to kick off now with some of the highlights of the tracks. So off we go with Dirt on the Bed. There's a bizarre dirge-like chaos that leads us in here with some abstract bursts of sax and guitar chords. Moderation is next, and here we can hear some vague Bowie-esque station-to-station riffs. Very weird indeed. French Boys is next, and it's got a woozy punk pop 80s feel, almost akin to The Cure. That's what came to my mind anyway. Skipping the title track, we go on to Harbour, and more bop to this, raising the mood somewhat. And then Running Away. It's got a sturdy mood-driven horn that creates a fuller sound, and the stack stinks of Black Tie White Noise memories. Then we go on to Cry Me Old Trouble. Here, the synths very much monopolise the mood, and Remembering Me, which is next up, is built on fluid bass playing. Very busy it is too, with waves of percussion and a muddy synths that vibrate outwards from the steady rhythm station Bowie record, and the vocals throughout are emotionally very, very high. This is a pretty good album. Certainly the Bowie links drew me in, and I think repeated listens, it could find a place in my collection on a regular basis. But anyway, get to have a listen to it. It's Pompei. It's by an artist called Kate Le Bon, and it's my second pick on this video. Eye drops in now, so I'm getting a bit blurred looking at bits of my notes. But the third review on this video is an album called Flicker, and it's by an artist called Andy Bell. Some of you older fraternity might recall him. He was in a band called Ride in the early 90s. I've got a couple of their albums, but I have to confess I didn't really pay too much attention to them, although they were an alternative rock band. He's gone solo since then, and this is his third in consecutive years. It's described very much as as Bell having a knack for dreamy harmonies and distorted psychedelic guitars that convey a wide range of emotions. Now this is an extremely lengthy double album, so I'm only going to sort of cover maybe half of it in my quick track selection. So let's get on with that. The Sky Without You, and has very much that psychedelic haze. Then it gets easier. Here we get that fuzzy rock, which meets introspective pop, and there's plenty of synths. World of Echo reminded me of the 1966 Byrds with the jangly guitars, and Something Like Love, a very nice acoustic guitar intro, creates a contemplative tone and some soft strings like sounds, which was reminiscent, I felt, of a track by Ride called Vapor Trail, and it's very pleasant. Then we got Jenny Holzer Be Good, maintains the mood with psychedelic haze for sure. What's in the Cookie, if you remember all those indulgent days back in the 70s. Way of the World, it's got some good guitar whoosh on this, and it slides into the guitar, that is, into a very sort of San Francisco style guitar sound. Riverside, well, this is a bit of a change. I heard Charlatans with the percussion and those banks of guitars. It's very late 70s prog rock guitar, I felt, quite indulgent. And then We All Fall Down. This certainly felt like it was inspired by Pink Floyd, possibly from Syd Barrett's era. Very escapism. And then No Getting Out Alive, another spacey shoegaze style sound, very rhythmic indeed. Further into the album, skipping a few tracks, She Calls the Time owes a nod to the Canterbury scene with the subtle rock psychedelia that particularly is reminiscent of early Soft Machine and Pink Floyd. So that's all I'm going to do. It took me a while to get into this. Third listen, I started to appreciate it, but it is a little bit overindulgent. It is a little bit too long, and it becomes a little bit samey. Certainly, he's a talent, Bell, but I think he should diversify a little. But anyway, that's that third one on this video, Flicker by Andy Bell. The fourth and last offering on this new releases video is an LP called LP3 by a band called Hippocampus. It's their third album, and it's very much artful, yearning indie pop. Brings together very much a sort of kinetic style sound, similar to their 2017 debut Landmark. And they followed it up in 2018 with a sort of more jazzy Steely Dan types, soft rock with electronic flourishes, and that was called Bambi. This third is sort of a bit of an amalgam, really, and it explores such heavy themes as sexuality, long-distance relationships, mortality, and self-identity. Whoopee! We're going to go through the track listing now, briefly, to give you a flavour of this album by Hippocampus. Kicks off with Too Young to Die, very much influenced by Vampire Weekend, I felt, and that theme crops up throughout the album. Blue It has some sparkling guitar lines and a day-glow light synths with some blown out percussion grooves. Next track is Ashtray, very captivating sound that's very familiar, but at the same time sounding very original. What does that mean? Well, you try and work it out. Bang Bang is track 4, serenading pop licks with synths to purr for. And then Semi-Pro, it's got a vocal style which is quite distinctive. Jake Lupin is the singer, and it flows into a crystalline sort of falsetto. And then number 6, the track 6, is Ride or Die. Here, much again, some Vampire Weekend inspired work with synth keyboards. Mix is impressive, and the vocal combo is joyfully explored. Scorpion, I think, is the best track on here. In fact, the closing tracks are stunning. Some neat mix of horn and guitar bits be on this particular track. And then Listerine that follows, more laid back, pretty soft indie pop with some delightful vocals and some great arrangements back in the mix. And then the single, Boys, the melody is sublime with soft lead vocals, mesmerizing queer-leaning, coming-of-age vocals, and it's very much an anthem to that group. The arrangements, again, are very much on point. And then finally, the closing track, another strong track, is called Understand. I love the vocals, very intimate, and a neat guitar solo. So my message to this, if you seek this out, you must get through to the end. There would be a temptation to listen to 3 or 4 tracks and think, oh, that's a bit ordinary, but you'd be missing the best. The best is track 7 to 10, so you might want to put those on first, and then you'll really appreciate what a strong album this is. So that's about it for this episode 5 of New Releases. 4 albums. I've got plenty in the can. I am really playing catch up because I have had a period of illness, and I am going to be having some surgery in a few weeks. So there might be a period of time without videos then, following my recuperation. Okay, hope you enjoyed it.